So we went and we walked around very freely. We spoke to people on the beaches. Some of them liked Hamas, others didn't. But people were able to air their views and express their views. And I just thought, yes, it is the world's largest open-air prison, but it's probably one of the few places in the Middle East where they have free speech, where they can speak their mind, where they can say what they want, whether they like the ruling party or not. And so I was really impressed by that. And I also thought, you know, they are in this large open-air prison, but they can move freely without checkpoints, unlike their brothers and sisters in the West Bank, who have more checkpoints than ever to contend with, who have more illegal settlements to contend with. That isn't to say that I don't have a great love and admiration for the Palestinians in the West Bank. I do. I was one of the first journalists into Jenin after the massacre in 2002, and those people were amazing, really amazing people. And you know, I do have a great love for the people in Palestine.
We have also to speak about the last clashes in last December, but we have to take a break, and we will go back again with ايفون رايدلي. It is really amazing nationality, so keep with us. نعود لكم بعد الفاصل إن شاء الله. السلام عليكم. وعدنا إليكم بعد الفاصل، وما زلنا في لقائنا في لندن في ويست جيت في قلب لندن مع الصحفية البريطانية ايفون رايدلي. Mrs. Yvonne, now we are speaking about the last clashes in Gaza in last December. So what you felt in the beginning and what did you do?
On the 26th, 27th of December, I watched in horror at the images on television, and I rang a friend of mine, Garda Rizuki, who was in Stop the War, and I said, we have to do something. And so I was in Scotland and on holiday, and I drove straight down to London, on the phone all the way down, organising a demonstration outside the Israeli embassy in Kensington in London. She was doing the same, and then I contacted some of the Muslim groups, and they said, well, we're going to hold the demonstration on the Monday because we haven't got permission from the police to demonstrate tomorrow. And I said, who gave the Israelis permission to bomb Gaza, stuff the police? You know, we are going, and I will be there, and if I stand on my own, I don't care, I'm going. And so we contacted the police at the local station and said, look, you know, we're going to come and protest tomorrow. And he said, the senior officer said, how many? And I said, maybe 30, 40 people, who knows? I'm using my text message and Facebook. The next day, 4,000 people turned up.
Brothers, sisters, comrades, assalamu alaikum.
There was great anger there. George Galloway, a politician I greatly admire, and a good friend of mine, he was there. Tony Benn, a revered statesman, he was there. And lots of ordinary people, lots of young people who wouldn't ordinarily demonstrate. And there was lots of passion. The stiff upper lip and English reserve went. The barricades came down. We stormed the area. We seized control of the roads. The police were quite shocked and hadn't expected this. And we demonstrated every day after that for the entire 22 days. But there was a growing frustration that it didn't matter how many demonstrations we held, nothing was going to rein in this brutal onslaught. And so George Galloway came up with the idea of Viva Palestina, which would be a land convoy breaking the siege by land from London to Rafah. And communities throughout the country really got involved with that. And we had this spectacular 100-vehicle convoy which set off from London with 350 British passport holders on board, and off we went to Gaza. And right through North Africa, ordinary people came out to give us more aid, to give us their salams, to cheer us on, from Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt.
You passed all this road to Gaza?
Even the Moroccans and Algerian governments put aside their differences for a few hours to open up their land border for the first time since 1994 to let the convoy go through. And it was amazing when we got to Gaza, because one of the things that the Palestinians, and in particular the people of Gaza, often say is, where is the Ummah? Where are the Muslims? And 80% of the people on board this convoy were Muslims. And they looked like Muslims as well, with big long beards, hijabs, Islamic dress. And even though our aid, more than £1 million worth of aid, and vehicles, we left all the vehicles there, although that was most welcome, the look on the people's face from Gaza, seeing, you know, brothers and sisters coming to them in such large numbers, it moved them to tears, because they said, you know, we have always felt isolated, and then the war, we were cut off, and then after that very few people came, just a couple of small delegations, and then you lot, you know, 350 with aid, and we stayed for a few days and then went back again. George Galloway is leading an American convoy, and there will be one coming from Russia, and then there'll also be one coming from Venezuela, and Viva Palestina is going to go on and on and on until we break the siege by land for good. But I'm now looking at ways of breaking the siege by air. Yes, and I noticed that Egypt has excellent conditions for hot air ballooning. So maybe some of your young viewers can come up with some ideas for me to to float into Gaza by air.
Actually, I admire your courage, and I feel really ashamed that we are, as Ummah, we are not able to do such brave step as you have done, but I hope that in the future that something will change through you and through the young generations that are watching us now, and they'll be able to do something in the future.
But you know, I'm a firm believer that everybody's opportunity will come one day when they step up to make a stand or to do something that is considered brave. People aren't born brave. It's something that triggers inside them, and they make that step forward and they make that stand, and everybody is capable of doing it. You know, like the woman who will lift up a vehicle if she sees her baby
inside.
And so I think that we're all capable. And you know, I talked about the convoy. Thousands, tens of thousands of people were involved in bringing that convoy together, from small children putting money in collection tins to all sorts of people. And not everybody could go on the convoy. The last thing Gaza needs is more people. It needs more aid. So I think that what we have to recognise is that the Ummah is a big jigsaw and everybody has a part to play. And,
but don't you think that one of our major problems that we usually start to make actions inside the problem? I mean, in the crisis, we don't act unless there is a crisis. Do you think that there is something that we can do other than the crisis to stop all this from happening again?
I think that we've really got to rebuild ourselves within first. This life is it's a test to see how we perform, how we rise to a challenge, how we behave.